So in today's session, we are going to discuss about client-side controller. As of now, we know how to design the user interfaces, how to place some text boxes, check boxes, button controls, and all these things we know. As of now, we know how to design the user interface. And then we know how to write the business logic also by using JavaScript. By using JavaScript, how can we implement the business logic we know? Now, how can we relate this to? How to relate this to? That means after entering some data inside this text boxes, when I click on the button control, how can we invoke the client side controller? How to execute JavaScript code? Now let's see practically as part of this client side controller. Now, then what exactly client side controller? Here let's see. Whenever we are building the lighting components, always we have to implement always we have to implement the client side controller first, because that already told you in lighting framework we have two types of controllers. We have client side controller, we have server side controller. Server side controller will be prepared by using Apex programming, and the client side controller should be prepared by using JavaScript. By using JavaScript, we are preparing client side controller. So whenever we are building the lighting components, we can implement the client side controller, which can be used to perform certain operations in the client side. Client side means what? Inside the browser level, if you want to perform certain operations, then we can go with the help of client side controller, so that we no need to make a request to the server. So we can avoid the server trips. If the server trips has been reduced, then automatically application performance will be getting increased. Now, so in this case, whenever if you want to perform certain operations inside the browser level, that means in the client side, we can go with the help of client side controller, which avoids the server trips, so that we can improve the application performance. Then how can we implement this client side controller? That already we know. Client side controller should be always implemented by using JavaScript. Or we can use any one of the JavaScript library. Because in IT industry, we have so many JavaScript libraries or frameworks are available, like jQuery, and then we have AngularJS, Knockout.js, Extension.js, Backbone.js, React.js. Like that, we have so many JavaScript libraries or frameworks are available. We can use directly JavaScript also, or any of the JavaScript framework also we can use to implement the client-side business logic. So client-side business logic or client-side controller should be always implemented by using JavaScript or any of the JavaScript library or framework. Then, when you want to invoke this JavaScript code, whenever an event is occurred, whenever an event is occurred on the component, that means when you click on the button control, or when you change the text box value, or whenever we are changing the pick list value. In that case, based on some situation, based on some event on the component, we can invoke the client side controller over here, which will do some operations for you. Now, so depends upon the event, we can able to perform the respective operations also over here. Now, we are having so many events are available here. Like we have on click event, we have on blur event, on change event, init event, on focus, like that here, on mouse over, on mouse move, Like that, here we are having so many events are available. Based on these client side events, we can perform the operations as well. Now, so in this case, whenever we are implementing this Lightning component, each component will have its own client side controller. Each Lightning component will have its own client side controller, which should be write the code inside the file, which is having the names controller file. So in every Lightning component here, you will be having that controller file. Like as part of component bundle, we have discussed there are 8 files are available in the component bundle. In that component bundle, we have a file called as controller file. Inside the controller file, we need to write the respective business logic here by using JavaScript, which you want to invoke based on some event. Now, always the JavaScript for file, that means controller file should be stored with the extension .js. By using this .js extension, it will be having this controller file will be available here. So we have to write the business logic inside that controller file in the form of functions. So we have to go to that controller file. Inside the controller file, we have to write that code in the form of JavaScript functions, and then we can call those JavaScript function upon click on the button. Or based on some events, client side events, we can able to invoke this particular JavaScript function also, which will do the operation for you. Then how can we do that here? We'll see. Now, in this case, let me explain. Then how can we do that? Let me give the note points as well. Every point I will explain. While building the Lightning component, we have to implement the client side business logics which can be performed, used to perform the operations in the browser level. In the browser level. That is at client side. Hence, we can avoid the server trips and we can improve the application performance. And we can improve the application performance. Client-side controller should be always implemented by using JavaScript or any of the JavaScript library or framework. For example, jQuery, AngularJS, Extension.js, Backbone.js, React.js, etc. Now, in this case, we have to implement the JavaScript code inside the controller file in the Lightning component. Now, always the client side logics should be implemented inside or in the form of JavaScript functions. Once the business logics has been implemented, then we can invoke the client side controller based on the events and the component. Based on the events and the component. Like for example, on change, on click, on blur, on focus, init, etc. Now, so now here in this case, let's see here how can we do that here. Now the syntax. Now we need to specify the function name and the keyword function. You will be getting the parameters like as component, event, helper. And here we can write the business logic. Now, function name, function. So this is a name. With what name you want to create the function, we can specify the function name over here. And then we can specify the keyword function and we can pass the parameters over here. Now, in this case, whenever we are preparing this client-side business logic, client-side business logic should be always implemented in the form of JavaScript functions. Then where we need to place, now this JavaScript function should be there inside the controller file. So in this controller file, prepare your own JavaScript function by using this syntax. We can specify the function name and the colon, and then we can use a keyword function and then three parameters. These parameters are optional. This is not the mandatory. These are the optional parameters. If you want, we can pass. If you don't want, leave it. No issues. So now in this case here, as part of this function, we will be passing three parameters over here. These are the three parameters: component, event, helper. Then what is this component parameter? What is this event parameter? What is this helper parameter indicates? Now let's see. Basically, the component parameter is indicating here, it describes the component name on which the controller has been defined. Okay, on which the controller has been defined. That means this controller should be related to which component, that component details we can collect by using component parameter. So component parameter is used to indicate that on which controller this particular, okay, on which component this particular controller has been implemented, that we can collect that component details by using this component parameters here. Now, second one, event. Second one, event. Now it is going to be indicating that the name of the event. That means which event has invoked this particular controller. When you click on the button control, or when you change the text box value, or when you change the pick list value, when this event has been occurred, to collect the event details we are using event parameter here. And the helper, basically helper parameter is used to invoke the reusable JavaScript methods. In order to invoke the reusable JavaScript methods, we are using the help of this helper component. Now, these are the three parameters are available over here. So now in this case, let's see. So now for example here, we are going to be using this component parameter. Component parameter is used to indicate the name of the component on which the controller has been defined. Which component has invoked this controller, that will be, we can collect that component details by using this component parameter. And the event parameter is indicating because of which event this controller has been fired, we can collect that current component event details. And the helper, basically this helper parameter is used to collect the reusable JavaScript. Suppose if you have created any helper file, in that helper file if you have prepared any JavaScript code, we can access that helper related JavaScript methods by using this helper parameter. These are the three parameters will be available over here. Then how can we implement? We can now, let's see with the practical use case. How to define some button controls and how can we perform the operations, we'll see. Now I would like to place some button controls on my lighting component, and then upon click on the button components, I would like to invoke this events over here. That means I would like to execute this functionality. How to do that? We'll see with the practical use case. Now I'm giving the node point. Component parameter here. This parameter describes the name of the component on which the controller has been defined. That is, we can get the component details by using this parameter. Second one, event. This parameter is used to get the event details on which the controller has been invoked. Helper. This parameter is used to invoke the reusable JavaScript code. This parameter is used to invoke the reusable JavaScript methods. In order to invoke the reusable JavaScript methods, we are using the help of this helper parameter here. These are the three. Now, then how can we implement this functionality? Now let me show you with the practical use case. Now, my requirement is I would like to place some 4 button components here. On my lighting component, I would like to place 4 button components. Upon click on each button, I would like to show some message. through client-side controller. How to do that? Let me show you. Now, let's see. Take a small use case. Design a lighting component to invoke the client-side controller based on the button clicks. Based on the button click. Whenever we are going to be click on the button control, I would like to invoke this JavaScript methods. Then how can we implement? Okay, now let's see with the practical use case. Then how can we do that? Okay, now let me show you with the practical use case. I'm going to my Salesforce arc. I'm going to the developer console. I'm creating a new lighting component. Lighting component. I would like to indicate LC underscore now I would like to indicate client side controller component. Client side controller component. Click on submit. Now my component will be getting prepared. In this component, I am going to be using a div tag. Here I would like to place the button control. Lighting button. Okay, lighting button component. Label equals to save button. Variant equals to brand outline. And then I'm placing one more button. Cancel button. And then I'm indicating delete button. Edit button. Sharing button. These are the 4 buttons I'm placing here. I'm placing this 5 button components on my lighting component here. Now I would like to apply some style for the div tag over here. Go to the style file. I'm applying this one. Now controller style. I would like to specify that. Width 500 pixel. Border 1 pixel. Solid block. Border radius 10 pixel. Margin left 200 pixel. Margin top 100 pixel. Padding top 10 pixel. Padding bottom 10 pixel. Padding left 10 pixel. Padding right 10 pixel. These are the styles I would like to apply. I'm applying this as style for my div tag over here. We can use the property class equals to, we can specify the style name here. Let me place these buttons first. Then I will show you how to write the business logic. Now this is a lightning component which I have prepared. In this lightning component, I have placed okay 5 buttons over here. Save button, cancel button, delete button, edit button, sharing button. Now let's test this one. Call this sub component inside an application. Let me open one of that existing application which I prepared like as test application. Here I would like to call this. What is the component name now? Client side controller component. Client side controller component. Click on preview. Now one button is placing at the bottom. That means let me expand that width. Maybe that width is not sufficient. I would like to indicate 600 pixels width. Now these are the buttons are available here. We are having these buttons. So we have placed this 5 buttons on my lighting component. But generally now when I click on the button control, nothing will happen here. Upon click on this button control, nothing is happening. But now what I want to do is when I click on this button, I would like to show some alert message. Okay, I would like to show some alert message. Then how can we do that? Okay, now let's see with the practical use case. Now, how can we write that? Go to your component here. Upon click on this button control, I would like to call a JavaScript function. Then how can we call by using the button control here when on click equals to we have to specify that curly braces exclamation c dot JavaScript function name. See that already told you in the starting class over here the properties I have given as part of this button components over here. I have given a property called as on click property. Okay, c dot JavaScript method name. So in order to specify the JavaScript method name to be get invoked, okay, upon click on the button control to perform the required actions. So upon click on this on click, that means what? On click of this button. Upon click on the button control, what operations you want to do, what action you want to perform. Now that operation related code we are writing inside this JavaScript file, this JavaScript function we need to attach with that component. That's it. Now, then how can we write? Let's see. I'm going to that, okay, controller file. Go to the controller file. Now it is preparing the function here. Give the function name. I'm indicating now save button alert. I'm giving the function name as save button alert. So now, as soon as once you click on this save button, I would like to call this a method over here. This is a method name. It's a function component event helper. Here I want to show what upon click on this button control, I would like to call this a method. What is the method name right now over here? My method name is save button alert here. Okay, that's it. Simple. That means upon placing the button control on click, that means upon click on that button control, go to this controller file and then in that controller file call this a JavaScript function. That's it. Over. Now here in this JavaScript function, you have to write the logic whatever you want by using JavaScript. Now go to that JavaScript file. Here I would like to show some message. How to show the alert message? We are using alert. Alert. Okay, you have click on or you have selected save button. Save button. That's it. Simple. What message you want to write, we can do. Here I'm writing only one line message here. In the next examples, we'll see okay some more complex functionalities. Alert. You have selected save button. Now we can call this a function here, save button alert here. That's it. Now from now onwards, let's see. Refresh this screen now. From now onwards, once I click on this button, control save button, it will show the message here. See, it is showing that, okay, alert message you have selected, okay, save button. Whatever the message that you have specified, the message will be printing on your alert box. But the remaining functions here, that means remaining buttons, we haven't written any code. Now let me write the code for this one as well. Go to that. Now give a comma. This is the first function, then second function, comma. Now I would like to indicate cancel button alert. We can give any method name, no problem here. Function, component, event, helper. Here I would like to show the message. Alert, you have selected cancel button, comma. Next one, edit button alert. We have to specify the parameters, component, event, helper. You can show the message. Alert, you have selected edit button, comma, delete button alert. Alert, you have selected delete button, comma, sharing button alert. I want to write the code. You have selected sharing button. These are the buttons I have prepared over here. So these are the JavaScript functions I have prepared. Now this each function I would like to call based on the buttons over here. Now upon click on cancel button, I want to call this method, JavaScript method cancel, okay, button alert. Now it is indicating controller.js failed to parse. Okay, function. Now my controller file has been saved. Now I want to call this a method upon click on this cancel button. Go to the cancel button, specify the event, and click equals to, we can specify c dot that method name, and click. Now delete button. What is the method you want to call? Delete button alert method. Next one. And click equals to c dot edit button. For this one, what is the method? Edit button alert. Next one. Now unclick sharing button. Sharing button alert. Now these are the buttons over here. So now previously we have displayed only the user interface, but now, okay, not only displaying the user interface, upon click on the button control, we are firing some actions also. Upon click on this button control, we are firing some actions as well over here. So now here for that reason, we are using this business logic. We are writing that business logic. So that here for each and every button component, we have written some business logic like save button, cancel button, delete button, edit button, and then we are having that the sharing button also. For each and every button control, we are calling the corresponding method as well here. So in this case, from now onward, same. We have to create, we have to place the respective button components, and then upon click on the button, and then call the JavaScript function. Go to the controller file, prepare a JavaScript function. In that function, write the business logic, whatever you want. It may be simple logic, it may be complex logic, also anything you can able to write inside this. Now, let me run this application now. Now my application will get run. Now upon click on save button, let's see. When I click on save button, it will show the alert message here. Okay, you have selected save button. So upon click on the button control, that corresponding JavaScript function has been executed. It will show the alert message. When I click on cancel button, it is showing that you have selected cancel button. It is showing alert box. When I click on delete, it is showing some message. When I click on edit, it is showing this message. When I click on sharing, it is showing this message. So depends on the button click, the corresponding okay method will be getting called. It will represent the alert messages on your browser level. So that whenever if you want to perform some operations upon click on this button control, we can do that. Okay. Understood the concept here? How can we write the business logic inside it? Now, let me place this code. Let me place the component code, controller, style, application. Now, clear up to this one? Now let's see. Now, as of now, what we did, we have click on the button control. When I click on the button control, so now it is going to be calling the JavaScript function, which will be performing the operation. Now, sometimes I want to place some text boxes on the screen. In the text box, I will enter some value. After entering some value, when I click on that button control, it has to do some operations on that. Then, in that case, how can we collect that values from text boxes? And how can we pass the results? Let's see. For example, I'm designing a small basic calculator component here. In this calculator component, I'm placing first text box, enter the first number value, second text box to say enter the second number value, third text box to enter the third number value here. That means result. I'm placing the button control some add. Now here what we will do, we'll enter some value. Like this is some 100, this is some 200. When I click on this add button, what it will do, it will collect the first value, it will collect the second value here. It will be collecting that code into the JavaScript file over here. It will collect the first text box value. That value will store into the first number variable. Second text box value into the second number variable. Then it will perform the addition like first number plus second number. Then it will store the value in result. Now this result value it has to pass into text box. Then in this case, whatever the values we have entered in the text box, these values we need to collect into JavaScript file. In JavaScript file, we are generating the results. These results we are placing into text boxes. So how can we capture the value from controller to, that means component to controller, and how to pass the results from controller to component here. For that one here, we are going to be using the help of getter and setter methods. That means set and get methods. So set method is used to set the value and get method is used to get the value. Then in this case here, how to use this set method and the get method we'll see practically in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session, we are going to discuss about get and set methods so that I would like to implement dynamic functionalities here. And then one more thing, this is Saturday, Sunday also we have the session, but instead of 9 o'clock, we'll be having it 7:30. Okay, we'll have the session at 7:30 tomorrow morning at 7:30. 7:30 to 9:30 we will be having 2 hour session here. Or if you want to come by 7 to 9 also, then no problem for me. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, 2 days will be having the session at 7:30 to 9:30 here. Okay, please be available here. Only for this 2 days over here. Monday, anyhow, the holiday. Monday, because of the election day, we don't have the session. Monday will be the holiday. From Tuesday, we'll be having the regular normal timings over here. But only for these 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, we will be having the session at 7:30 to 9:30. Please be available here. So don't miss that sessions here. These 2 sessions are very, very important as part of your client-side controller. Then from Wednesday onwards, we'll enter into Lightning Web Components. So we are mainly focusing on JavaScript coding over here. How to implement, we'll see from tomorrow onwards. Please, don't miss the sessions. Tomorrow and after tomorrow, session will be at morning at 7:30. 7:30 to 9:30, we'll be having the sessions. Please be available. Okay. Now, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.